All right, so a lot of fun on the division draft. I appreciate us getting a little bit of behind the curtain access. We actually had a good weekend with the wild card games. I wish the games were better, but they had some dynasty implications, so we're going to hit on some of those. Um, While we pull that up, what was the favorite game of the weekend for each of you?
Let me pull up the scores as well. I made some spark notes on the specifics of fantasy implications, but it's all a blur. I mean, I'm rooting for Washington. Like I like to see, you know, Daniel's success, and I do like the Bucks as well. But I mean, it's just a young, scrappy team. I'm a Dan Quinn fan too, so nice to see him do well.
It really was the one good game. I mean, I felt like everything else was a blowout. I was gonna say I thought Jaden Daniels, like again, his just fantasy value keeps going up. The dude's rushing like Lamar. He's getting 10 plus rushes. He's throwing. And after this season of Dynasty, I really do think that the top tier QBs are those dual threat guys. And when Jaden can give you 50 plus rush yards and sprinkling a rush touchdown here and there, it really elevates his overall ranking.
Yeah, so is he one of your winners of the weekend? I think if we want to do a winner and a loser each, I know I have a guess someone's loser, but I'll let one of y'all go first.
I've got
I'll
yeah,
throw out my loser because I just threw out my winner. Um, I mean, my loser is Sam Darnold. I, I don't know. I think going into the last 2 weeks, I thought he was going to have a legitimate shot to get a big contract from somebody, or even potentially, give Kevin O'Connell something to think about and keep him as the Viking starters next year. But I don't think that's happening anymore. Um, I think either JJ McCarthy will slide right in if he's healthy. Otherwise, I picked up Daniel Jones myself in case he wasn't and potentially slid in. But I don't see Darnold. Maybe he starts for some bottom tier team that needs a QB. Um, I don't know. I think he took a hit after these last 2 weeks.
yeah. I think that one was probably going to be pretty consistent across the board. The one I'll give my winner. I mean, I think I might be biased just for the whole year. Bucky Irving, man. I mean, the look at the snap difference between him and Rashad White. Like I think he had 17 carries. I think White maybe had two, if I remember correctly. Like he can run, he's got decent hands, like he's gonna get targets. So I think his that was such a big pick in our league coming in at what was his
Third
overall
round, third round.
third 3.7. That's I mean, so virtually everybody passed them at least once or twice, right?
Yeah, Bucky really will be a solid piece for Story going forward. That was what you call a home run pick. I mean, you hit a third rounder like that. You can only be dream really of hitting a third rounder like that.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I think my controversial trending down one, Philly's receivers, they're not the same dominant force that they once were. I think Sean was just kind of mentioning like as much as you want to say like AJ Brown's the guy, like it's easy for anybody to get lost in that offense when Hurts and Saquon are both coming in at the negatives for any time touchdown each week for DraftKings odds. So yeah, yeah, go ahead, pull up some stats. Like this week in particular, they didn't do great, but I don't know.
I texted Faye as soon as the game ended and said I would sell AJ Brown. I
Yeah,
think at peak value.
Yeah, but
I
that's what
agree
he
with you.
wants. He wants peak value. I reach out immediately asking about AJ Brown, and what do I get is I expect a Brees Hall for Saquon type deal, and I'm like, okay, so you want an absolute steal for a guy who just played what, one catch? Is that what he
One
got
catch.
in a
yeah.
playoff game? Like, I don't know how you can be so dejected.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, and I think he's kind of checked out too. You know, like
He's
you
got his
see,
book. He's got his book club.
yep. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't. He got a lot of flack for that. I wasn't totally against it. Like, sort of, Sirianni said the same thing. He's like, some guys pray, some guys do other stuff. Like, if I feel like as a professional athlete, it's got to be so hard to turn this stuff off. Like, keep that composure. Like, when he's on the bench, do you really want his heart rate at 150 beats per minute, or do you want him being a little bit more mindful and intentional? So it's
That
hard. The
does help
Harvard
me.
stat line is
That
so
gets me into my big winner of the weekend, which is Cody and I's bedtimes. Having just trash games that are blowouts on a Monday night, not something we're mad at. And especially with the reading comment, I mean, if I can get out of there after the fumble six gets called back and Rams take off, then that allows me to get a little extra Z. So that was nice.
I miss West Coast football, man. Started my day at 10. I could wrap it up by 6.
Yeah, huge winner is us. But the real winner from the weekend for me is guys who didn't get hurt. So being an owner of Hawkinson, it was nice that he got a touchdown, but for him to get out of there healthy and potentially see another day with fresh off season, that's always nice. Going the opposite direction, a loser for the weekend is the Christian Watson saga continues with ACL on the worst team in our league, had to pay to get him, and then has to deal with another guy who he probably won't have produce for him at all next year.
Yeah, I was gonna say I saw a report saying he probably won't be playing next year, and for Cloutier giving up a first rounder, I believe for Watson, that thing's gonna haunt him. He needs to hit on as many guys as he can in every one of those trades. Like that's a huge setback for him. He's gonna be able. To, I don't even know if a guy would give him a second rounder.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
I wouldn't. Yeah, so
Um,
who's your winner of the weekend, Lucia?
I mean, mine. I just think it's Jaden Daniels. I think he kind of cemented himself. You know, kind of right there with. I'm not saying in the NFL he's the same QB, but fantasy wise, I think he's right there with like a Lamar Jackson. Like when Cody picked up Lamar, I thought that was a huge acquisition for him. I thought Faye was I can't believe Faye sold him, to be honest. Um, but when you can have a guy that comes in and a bad game for Lamar is like 18 points. And then,
Not
he can
this
give
year,
you
man. I think it was 21 was a bad game.
Jesus, yeah, right. And you get something like that. If he drops you 35 plus, it makes up for a guy that might only give you 10. So yeah, so I mean, I'm really high on Jaden Daniels fantasy wise, at least,
Yeah, this has happened
going
a
into
couple
next
times in
season.
our league where a guy gets sold and that lets you know that his market value is not what you thought it was. I'm sure you're licking your chops for 5 weeks thinking, how can I get him after you see him sold for the top thing here is a first rounder. But aside from that, it's Tony Pollard. I mean, and then you
Yeah,
get him for what's basically a first rounder and golf right back. So the the value being on the wire at that point and on the trade block, it's crazy.
Did you say your winner of the weekend, Kote?
So my winners and losers, really, the injuries are huge for me. Being someone who didn't get to participate in the fantasy playoffs because of 10 to 12 injuries through the first 6 weeks of the season, that makes
team
it harder.
geriatric.
So the older guys who do not get hurt is huge for me. But as far as the winner for dynasty perspective, just across every league, I do think that the teams that are staying in it have a few guys. So Nico Collins, to me, the fact that Dell gets hurt and Nico's healthy, he's going to have just a little more time to build rapport. So he's a big winner for me. The fact they get to go into the next round and potentially build on that when Stroud had, for all intents purposes, a down year. It's good to see them have that opportunity.
Yeah. I had actually, when I was kind of throwing some notes around, I did trending up, trending down, then I put a question mark. My first one I wrote was Stephon Diggs. Like, what does this year mean for him? And again, the Tank Dell injury is obviously super relevant. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's similar to how I feel about Philly with a totally healthy roster. I feel like it's easy to get lost in Houston. So it'll be interesting to see what his stock does the first few weeks of next year.
Yeah, they started in just a power heavy season. Like first 8 weeks, I had Mixon, and it was awesome to watch. And then you can see that that just doesn't work for a full season. You have to be able to be versatile. So Nico getting back, getting healthy, getting reps, that's my win for any dynasty owners that have him.
Yeah. I'm curious on your thoughts on this. One of the early thoughts I had too, excuse me, for trending up is a player who hasn't even been drafted yet. Like if the Chargers pick a second, third round running back, I mean, what does that mean for the rest of the guys in that committee, you know?
Yeah, I mean, right now a lot of projections have like a Caleb Johnson landing in the Chargers, and if he lands there, I think that crushes his value. I mean, he had a good year. He definitely did have a good year. But I'm curious. I think if they draft one of these top rookie running backs, then you could see Dobbins take a hit.
Yeah, I
But
think
yeah,
Dobbins might be a free agent, and Gus is on 1 year left. They're very likely to take a talented guy if they see one. So that's definitely in play and scary for the league if they get someone that's top tier talent because they're probably going to need to. Well, for the fantasy league, I should say. I don't think anyone's scared of the Chargers next year with some of the guys leaving. But for fantasy, they run the ball so much.
Yeah.
Just Dobbins was 15 per game when healthy, and it was only based on volume.
yeah,
Yeah,
my Justin Herbert stock definitely took a hit this year. I'm hoping for a rebound next year, but
Yeah, he
Harbaugh
could have
there,
been a loser pick.
tough.
yeah, he did not have a good game.
Who knew Denver would be relevant? Um, I as quick as they were. So yeah, I don't know that the AFC West doesn't show many signs of slowing up. Yeah, the other elephant in the room, and I think there's a lot of injury implications with the team as a whole. But pull up the Jordan Love stat line from this week. That was it didn't tell the full story of how he played per se, but I mean it's bleak for
Yeah,
sure.
the next QBs on this list are guys who didn't start, so that tells you enough right there.
I think this is where Faye next year is really going to need JJ McCarthy to produce at a good level because I don't know, like Jordan Love going into next year. I mean, I don't know if you consider him fantasy wise like a top 10 QB even.
Well, he could have sold high and didn't. So this is another one where you hold your chips a little too long, and now instead of putting up 25 like consistent last year games, they're looking at 2 games above 25, and the rest it just has this downward spiral heading right into the playoffs where he has one of his worst games. So definitely a dip there.
Yeah,
What
that
did
was
Love finish as? What number? What ranked QB?
17 this season.
Yeah.
with how many games missed though? Two, three.
Saw at least two and third one. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
What did he play Philly week one? Sorry, go back up.
It's hard to know if he
And
played
he played Chicago. He got taken out.
right.
I I wish there was a way to see what opposing quarterbacks did against Philly's defense easily on sleeper because I mean they were clearly one of the best secondaries all year. I mean the defense as a whole. So it's hard to when they can stop the run and stop the pass. Like yeah, you're in trouble. But 6.4 fantasy points is a tough L for the owner.
Right.
Yep. Philly ended up being my favorite bet this week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
well, I think the wild card round wrap up, if everyone's as active as we are looking at these things, there are definitely some good takeaways. I think it will show a little more throughout the playoffs if that injury luck stays true. So looking forward to watching the games and getting back to talking to y'all.
yeah,
Yeah,
of
always a pleasure. And Cody, thanks for joining us this week.
course. No, this is awesome.
All right, boys, have a good one. Thank you guys again.
See you in a few short days.
And I will cut the end because I can't find the stop button now.
All right, I'm leaving. I'm gonna go do some stuff before Janine gets home.
Peace.
I
All
gotta
right, later,
Yeah.
boys.
as well.
Always.
Oh, always a all right. I'll touch base on the logistics plan for this weekend. We gotta hash it out with the missus here.
Sounds good.
All right, later, homie.
Bye.